Hey guys, today we are going to see a cool Python automation project which is very helpful for you as well as your organization. Before I start the video, this is my channel Tech with Hari and I'm Hari. If this is your first time in our channel, don't forget to subscribe. Let's start the video. So this is the whole setup we are going to do today. First one is GitHub, second one is EC2, which is nothing but a virtual machine. Third one is Slack, a community channel which we're going to send all the information. Imagine if you are working in an organization. So in that you have multiple repos, multiple projects. So if you create a PR request, now what your GitHub will do is it's just see, okay, someone is creating a PR request inside my organization of one repo. Now my work is I send all the PR information to that EC2, like to the virtual machine server. Here, the communication between the GitHub and EC2 will done by webhook. We are inside the EC2. We are just deploying our Flask application. Here, what the Flask application will do is it's just first it will verify the GitHub webhook whether the webhook is right, whether I communicate with a right GitHub. Once it is verified, then it will generate. Okay, I'm verified that I get the notification from the right organization which I want to generate notification. Now I need to go the next step. I need to generate the notification into a right Slack channel. So for that, we just generate the notification. In that, we are just attaching uh, webhook of Slack. Basically, Slack itself, they are providing a webhook inside their API. So we are just create a webhook of for our organization, and we are just attaching that webhook uh, in with our Flask application. So here generate that. So for that GitHub to EC2, we are just mentioning the webhook. Okay, this is the right organization. Which organization the request is coming from, and from EC2 Slack, and which Slack channel, which Slack organization I need to generate a notification. So here we use two webhook URL. So for that, first we need to create an organization in our GitHub. And let's start the demo. Here for this, first we need to create an organization. So here you can see, I think just check with that. Uh, So this is my actual repository. So if you are doing this demo, you need to create your own organization. You just click the new organization, and you need to create a free, and you just click the new organization. But I already have that organization, so I just go with that. So inside the organization, I first thing is completed. We are just creating a separate organization inside our GitHub repository. Second thing is we need to create a Slack channel. So here the second thing is I already have the Slack channel. If you don't have, just go and simply click Slack. So go here, it's shows sign in with Google, other kind of thing. So just enter your mail and just authenticate with the Slack. Then you create your own Slack channel. I mean Slack for your organization. Once you created that, and I attached that all kind of links in my description. So you just go through that. Here, building something amazing. Create a new app. What we actually trying to do is for GitHub, we have a separate webhook thing. They have their inbuilt webhook setting inside the profile itself. For Slack, we don't have that API thing with our actual Slack channel. So we need to go to that API slack.com and apps. We just need to create an app here. And from scratch, I just click app name as the PR and selecting a workspace. I already created, so I just click that and create an app. Here for now we are just creating. The next thing is we need to create a dedicated virtual machine for this. You may have a question why we actually need a virtual machine. We can deploy the Flask application in our local machine itself, but it won't work because GitHub actually need to communicate with the server which is always available in the internet. But if you are deploying your application in your local system won't have any public IP address, and we are not sure whether if it's available for all time or not. So we need to create a dedicated instance which is always available like 24 into 7, and the Flask application inside that which is always running. So for that we choose a virtual machine. So for now I just using AWS, and I create a new EC2 instance for that. Basically what, as I already said, what GitHub will do is GitHub send all the information as of all the information to EC2 instance. So here it send all the request. We are calling it as a payload. So here, and here the application and OS, I just use Ubuntu as my machine, and T2 micro is enough. I'm using my free tier, and the key pair is we need to log in with our instance, so we need a key pair. So if you don't have, just go here and create a new pair. I already have that. I just use the PIM file. So this key and the network, I just use the default VPC and other kind of thing. And here I just allow HTTPS and HTTP traffic from the network, from the internet. because if you won't avail, basically it's a security group. Here you can see security groups create. So we are just creating a security group, or we can select the existing security group. But here I just creating that. If you don't allow HTTP and HTTPS, the EC2 instance couldn't like the GitHub couldn't able to communicate with EC2 instance, because we are just restrict all the access. As like I think everyone know, AWS is providing the least privilege. So whatever it may be, whatever the security concerns, we need to give all the permissions. So I just give allow HTTP and HTTPS, and I just launch the instance. When we enable the security group as 80 and 443 HTTP and HTTPS only, our Flask application can able to communicate with both Slack as well as GitHub. For that, we need to enable this port. So then now we creating the EC2 instance. I just go with this running. Here I just click this. Here you can see all the information about that. Now I copy the public IP address and I just paste it here. I know it won't work. Yeah, here it's, hmm, yeah, it's just loading. It won't work. This site can't be reached because still we didn't deploy any kind of application inside our EC2 instance. That's why it won't show anything. So here, the third step is completed. We are just creating a EC2 instance and we are just enabling our security port. Then the fourth step is, before we start, here you have this. If you are in your organization, you are just going to your organization, we are just adding the webhook URL, because as I said, the communication is done by webhook. So we need to create a dedicated webhook URL for the PR request. So for that, we are going to that organization and we are going to the settings. And note, if you are working in an organization, you don't have this root setting of your organization. So if your admin give the settings access only, that admin access only, you can able to access this. And this is my organization which I create for this demo, so I can able to access this. And I just click the webhook, add a webhook. Here the payload is payload URL. I need to give, okay, okay, it's building. And the next thing is content type. So what type of content from my GitHub need to deliver to my EC2 instance, my Flask app. So here the application www form, and we have another option, JSON. So here I just choose JSON and the secret. So here we need to add the secret. What it actually do is, here we add the secret, and at the same time in our Flask app also we add a secret. So the webhook verify this secret and the Flask app secret is same or not. If it's same, it's verified and continue the work. If it's not, it show the error. So I just give some random name, and I just for now I just disable that this SSL verification, and which event would you like to trigger this webhook. So here we need to mention, by using this webhook, what action we need to do. So let me select the individual events, and I just choose pull request. If someone raising any PR, I need to get notified. So for that, and as per your need, you just click all the thing and add the hook. So here uh, it's failed because still we didn't deploy our Flask application. So we are just completing the four things. We are just creating an organization, and the second thing is we are just creating a Slack channel, and inside the Slack channel we are getting an API. And the third thing is we are creating a EC2 instance, and the fourth thing is we are just creating a webhook. The next step is we need to connect the EC2 instance, and inside the EC2 instance we need to deploy our Flask application. So here, this is my local Linux machine, and I just do this. Yes, I already have a pen file inside that. So yeah, now it's connected. Now you can see if I give ls, it won't show anything because we don't have anything. For this, I just go to this repository and I git clone this Flask application. Clone, git clone. Yes. So here you can see Slack PR automation. CD Slack PR automation, ls-la. So here we are just cloning our our PR automation Flask app. First one is our Slack webhook URL, and the second one is our GitHub webhook secret. So I just copy this and I just create a file. I control. So here I just add my secret and your Slack webhook URL. So for that, we are just going here and here we are just creating an app, right? So incoming webhook, we go into this and activate incoming webhook. We are enable that here, add a new webhook to webspace. So search channel. I already created a dedicated channel for this and allow. Here I got this. I copy this and yeah, I pasted. Okay. So here we are just enabling that. We are just adding the TNB. Now we check whether the application is working or not. Okay, I just forgot one thing. This is our Flask application, right? So we need to install all the things what we actually need. Because it's a new machine, so we need to install many Python packages and dependencies. So first, I just update sudo apt update. And we need to install the our virtual environment here. And yeah, it's new machine. We don't have any pip here. So sudo, my God, sudo install. I'm just clicking yes. Yeah, now it's installed. And I just creating a virtual environment inside my Slack PR automation. And I just enable the virtual environment source venv /pin /activate. Yeah, we are just enabled venv. And now the next thing is we need to install pip. Sorry, we are need to install that Flask. Pip install Flask. Not only Flask, we also need to install request because we are using some of the request models as well as here we are using a .env for that. We are just adding that environment variable, right? So for that we also need to install that request and Python 3.env. I hope it's correct. Okay, I think it's request pip install .env. Yeah, .env is installed. Now here we'll check whether our Python application is working fine or not. Python 3 app dot py. What is actually happening here is we don't have any kind of server inside that, like kind of reverse proxies and other kind of things. So the IP won't do that their work properly. So for that we need to install the reverse proxy, like the Nginx, to redirect all the information without any kind of porting. So we are just try to install that Nginx first. Sudo apt install Nginx because it's a Flask application, right? So to run that, we have if you are using the server, it's good. Nginx. Yes. So we are just installing our Nginx. Here we need to do a configuration in our system D services. Like for example, if we are trying to run our Flask applications, what the system D will do is it will, like whatever the system crashes or when the Nginx will restart, it automatically run. We don't want to restart that. So for that, we are just going with the command sudo vim. Here I'm using vim because I'm not good with nano files. So etc backslash etc is basically it's a folder which is store all the information like a password thing inside our Nginx server. So here my app service PR. I just add that unit description class web application after network target. So whenever my network is targeted, this services will these are the actions it will do. User is Ubuntu and the group is Ubuntu. Working directory is home Ubuntu PR work and the environment is path backslash home Ubuntu PR work BNB bin and exec start. Whenever anything start happen, it will automatically start the our Flask application and it's restart always and install wanted by multi-user target. So I just save this. Then we are just configuring our Nginx, right? So we need to restart our Nginx sudo systemctl start PR. It is started, and I need to enable this sudo systemctl enable PR work. So it's automatically created a symlink. Symlink is nothing but it's a systematic link which is need to communicate with our target with our Nginx. And if you want to see status PR work. So here the error which I expected. So here why it happened is we are just enabling the configuration of our etc system DD, which is when something the restart is happened, my Nginx server need to restart. But what we actually miss is what kind of like the server request like HTTP, HTTPS, that kind of system ports. We didn't access the network configuration for this server, so we need to add it also. So for that, we are just going there. We are just ensure whether we allow that site like the HTTP, HTTPS, and that Python 3 with the Nginx. For that, we need to go this here instead of your app. I just go with PR work. Here, this file is empty, and we need to copy. And here, we need to paste. Here you can see the HTTP, it redirect to HTTPS. Whether if you give HTTP or HTTPS, it's always secured. And server, it listens 80 and server name is your IP address. We need to replace our IP address here and return 301, the server name and the request URI. Is there any kind of authentication and authorization issues? It will return the 301 and the HTTPS configuration. Server is listening the 443 SSL secure circuit layer and the server name is our IP address. And here we'll generate that SSL certificate here for the secure communication and the location, the proxy pass. Here, just we mentioned the loop IP address and the proxy setter head. We are just setting up all the location of our application. And here we need to add the IP address of our here. I added. Now you may have a doubt how it will communicate with my application, the Flask application. You may remember in our Flask application, we use this 127 and the port 5000 means the Flask application. By this, it will communicate with our Python Flask application. Try to check whether the Nginx is working or not. Okay, now I find why the issue has happened. Okay, if you remember, we are just mentioning that our project name as my app name as PR work, but my repository name is lab PR automation. So I just messed up with my application name. So I just replace it with correct and and see welcome to Nginx. If you see this page, the Nginx web service is successfully installed. So here, the Nginx Pro. So here for the SSL connection, we need to generate a certificate for that. So I just forgot the step. That's why it shows error. So here we'll generate the SSL certificate first. I think now it's work. We'll check whether if it's working or not. Yeah, advanced. Proceed to 544. Yeah, GitHub webhook server is running. So guys, the major issue what I faced here is we are just forgot to generate the certificate. We got to generate the certifications. Just click default enter. Once you click all the enter, you can able to generate the certificate. Then I hope the Flask application is set perfectly. We can able to see that. Next, the final step is we are just check whether we added this also. The Slack is completed and the webhook is generated and the Flask application is running. Now we'll check whether if it's working or not. For that, I just go with that repositories. And here the shell example, let's create a dummy. I just try to add that, edit that. Edit and checking PR commit changes, create a new branch, create a pull request. Here we created the pull request. Then here we'll check whether if it's working or not. We'll go to for that organization and go. And for the settings, webhook. Yeah, it's completed. Here you can see response is 200. The request URL and request method is post, and the content type is application JSON. In GitHub pull request target ID. Now we'll see whether it's generated in our Slack or not. Yeah, guys, here you can see new pull request is created. Such a shell example created by Hari Velu, and the repository is the title is updated list SH none. And if we click view pull request, I'm using for the PR automation. So for that, first we are just import the Flask and request OS all the dependencies we need and the .env from load.env, and we are just first logging that setup logging. Next, we are just loading our .env. First, we are just initialize our Flask app equal to Flask name. And for that .env configuration, we are just initialize this. First, we get the environment variable from our env, os.getEnv, Slack webhook, and the GitHub secret. So our first a Python task is first we definition the verify GitHub webhook. Here we are just verifying the webhook request came from GitHub. So I just log that and receive signature. Here we are just adding that 256 signature, and if not received, we are just enabling like if the request is not correct, we are just return it as a false and get the payload. Once it is verified whether it's correct, then we are just receiving a payload request dot get data, and we are payload length, it's just written all the thing. If not, a GitHub secret, like in that we are just need to in webhook we are already added the webhook secret. So if it's the secret is not correct, or if we don't get that we don't give that GitHub secret into that environment variable, it shows the error. So yeah, it's just calculate the signature secret byte and expect signature log. Then it create that signature thing that calculate the signature, and is there any error, it shows that exception. So once it is verified and calculate the signature, it moves to the next thing, send Slack notification. Here it sent the Slack notification into a new for a new PR, and here it's try logger debug. First, it's PR equal to PR data of pull request, and repo is PR data of repository. Here, this is I referred from that JSON, that official GitHub thing. And the message is text new pull request. Here the PR is title, so we just here it shows that PR of our title, and the blog here the type is header, text is type plain text, and text is new pull request is created. And here the type is section. Inside that header thing, it have a fields type is markdown, and the text is repository. So inside that new pull request block, it shows that which repository, the full name of the repository. And the next thing is another type. And here the text is created by whom the PR is created, and the PR of the user, and the login thing. Maybe it's a username or their login user profile of their GitHub. Then the next thing is their title, the PR of the title, and PR of that get body, and no description provided. If they won't give any kind of description, it's just it show like this, no description provided. Otherwise, it show that title of the PR. The next section is the button, which is used to when someone is trying to click the button, it redirect into that PR request URL. So here we are just adding that PR HTML underscore URL. The button we are just giving. Here we just provide the URL. Here we added the log button or logger, and the response request.post Slack webhook URL JSON equal to message. So here we just the response what we expect from this is we are just posting that particular message into that Slack webhook URL as a form of JSON, and then it will convert it to as a form of this kind of structure. That message structure JSON equal to message. Here in this kind of structure, the PR message is created. And here we are just adding the log. Is there any error happened? It shows that what error has happened here with the HTTP status code. And then we are just adding that HTTP methods get and post. It's just get the PR information from that Flask, and it's just post into our Slack channel. And here we just add that another function def handle webhook. So here we are just handle that GitHub webhook events. So is there anything error happens inside our EC2? It's just redirect all the information, what error happened, why it's happening. So these kind of things we need to handle that. For that, it's just use the if request dot method is get GitHub webhook server is running, and it shows that 200, which is succeeded, which we already saw in our GitHub. And is there anything error? How it will be handled? So these kind of things we are just providing here, and verify the webhook signature. And we are just here trying. We are just try to capture all the events, and is there anything error happens? We try to capture it and check if it's a PR event. So here we are just ensure whether it actually a PR or not. If it's a PR only, we'll allow that. Otherwise, it's not. So if a event type equal to pull request and data.get action equal to open only, then processing a new PR event, success send Slack notification data. Otherwise, it won't do that. If success, return notification sent successfully, else it won't. And here we call all the main function here. If not Slack webhook URL, it shows. Yeah, guys, finally we completed our end-to-end PR automation project. I hope you all are like this video from creating the PR request in our GitHub repository into generating the notification into our Slack channel. We are completing the end-to-end project. So I hope you all are like this video. If you have any doubts, just go through this document and don't forget to subscribe our channel. Bye.